Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we are back with a Draven updated complete guide. Now, of course, as usual, don't forget to check out Draven's basic guide that I'll put up in the cards above for his skills, leveling order, tips and tricks, as well as some combos. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the items, runes, and spells. So, basically, as we know in this current patch, IE has gotten pretty bad. So now how Draven has adapted to this is basically he has replaced IE with Collector, which you guys know I'm not a big fan of, but the thing is that Collector is 500 gold cheaper than IE, and at this point IE is honestly, I'm not gonna say a horrible item, it's still like alright, but you want to generally avoid building IE on ADCs unless you really have no other better option. So how it goes is, of course, we first start with the Gluttonous Greaves in laning phase for the attack damage as well as the Omnivamp, as usual, and then we actually start off with a Duskblade. Now with Draven, you pretty much want to be snowballing, so hopefully at the point you're getting Duskblade, you're either 0-0-0 or you at least or you have like some kills. Hopefully you're not like 0-2 and 0, because with the Duskblade you get the high amounts of AD, a little bit of ability haste, the highest amount of armor penetration you can get in the game, and then you get the Night Stalker passive where one auto is going to do that bonus damage and get that slow. And of course with Draven, we already know his autos hurt like a truck, so this extra Duskblade passive is going to double down on that. And then of course Draven's pretty much best item, Bloodthirster, gives you again a lot of AD, physical vamp, which is really good because Draven is always dueling, and of course the bonus AD and attack speed when you're high on health. And then this is where we pull in the Collector, because obviously, as I mentioned, we replace IE with Collector, and with lethality items, the earlier the better, but of course, Bloodthirster is just more important than Collector. So Collector here gives you AD, crit, a little bit of armor pen, and of course that extra death and taxes passive where you're gonna kill someone who falls below the threshold instantly. And normally this passive not too useful, but in the gameplay you'll see later, it actually does help out, like, I think at least 2 times, so pretty interesting one. And then we have Magnetic Blaster. This gives you the extra range, and by this point you are doing so much damage that one extra auto can do like nearly half the health of a squishy target, so this extra range is really important. The attack speed is really useful as well. And finally, of course, we have the Armor Pen as well as the Grievous Wounds on the Mold Reminder, no surprise there. Of course, you can build this earlier instead of like Blaster, for example, if you really need it. And for the runes, here we go for Empowerment / PTA, because the main logic of this one is that it's going to help you deal a lot of extra damage to a single person in lane, and this is really the best rune for Draven, mainly because this kind of not guarantees, but it gives you the highest chance of killing someone in lane and snowballing, which is why Dravens basically normally take this. Is because you can proc it on someone in lane and hopefully kill that person and start the snowball rolling, and by that point in time, when you reach like mid and late game, your rune doesn't really matter anymore because you're already so fed from your items that it doesn't quite matter. Now personally, I actually like Lethal Tempo because I like it in mid and late game where you start getting a lot of attack speed and you can start carrying fights with that attack speed. But of course, this means you are not going to have press the attack in laning phase, and snowballing is a little bit more challenging compared to if you had PTA. Now, Conqueror is also a very viable option here. You get AD as well as Omnivamp, and this is always going to be useful for Draven. The only thing is, I don't think Draven stacks Conqueror very easily. Of course, it's a little bit better than Lethal Tempo, but he doesn't stack Conqueror very easily. And it is still a really good rune on him. I just think the other 2 runes are generally better choices. So here, of course, Brutal because we auto-attack quite a bit. We have Giant Slayer, pretty much just the best rune in this spot. And we have Legend Alacrity here for more attack speed, since we already have a decent amount of healing in our build. And of course, we have Bone Plating for the defensive capabilities in laning phase as well as in the later stages of the game. And of course, in laning phase, really important for Draven because he wants to kill people in laning phase and not die. And speaking of which, you want to get Exhaust, just so you can, exhaust whoever you're fighting in laning phase in particular, or assassins later on. And we have Flash, of course. But with all that said, let's move on to talking about our gameplay. Okay, so now let's take a look at the Draven gameplay. So basically, Draven, his goal of the game is pretty simple. You want to get kills in lane, you want to snowball. If you're gonna die in lane, that's fine, as long as you kill someone before you die, because you just want to cash in your League of Draven stacks. Of course, you have to be stacking those League of Draven stacks by catching those axes, but that's obviously natural. I don't think I really need to explain that. So as such, any support that kind of can facilitate him killing is always going to be good. Generally, it's engagers, but even enchanters technically, like you know, Nami or Janna, can technically help him as well. I mean, even there is even a situation where, for example, you have a Soraka support and you just run in and she heals you, and the enemy team gets baited into a fight because you're taking so much damage, but your Soraka sustains you and then helps you get a kill. Technically, that works as well. So of course, engagers are preferable, but enchanters could work as well, depending on you know, how it goes. But yeah, so laning phase here, we are with a Nami against a Varus and Senna. Varus and Senna, two very squishy characters. However, they do have a little bit of CC on both of them, and also they have decent range. So a little bit difficult to reach them, especially Senna, whose base range is higher than mine. So yeah. Of course, we gotta wait for an opportunity to capitalize. Now, this most likely is going to be when like the loot kit drops, because everyone's getting baited by the loot kit. Here it is, right on schedule as I was mentioning it. Everyone is like, you can see that they're both just trying to go get it, and you can see that Senna just runs straight into a bubble, takes a bunch of damage. It's basically 1 HP. I flash forward, I get the kill. Me and Varus exhaust each other. And I'm gonna back off because the minion wave is focusing me, so I don't want to be tanking that minion, that cannon minion, and it's probably gonna kill me if I do so. So I'm just gonna back off. Now, here I see a Kindred mark in the river just disappear, so I know that Kindred is right there. She's just taken the Skull Crab, so immediately I'm going to back, even though my wave is not in an amazing position, because if I don't, Senna is now back in lane, Kindred is now gonna come back, come and gank from the jungle, and that is going to get me killed. So we're going to be happy with the first blood with that 1 kill, and we're just going to head back home, grab the Gluttonous Greaves and a longsword. Or rather, the longsword was already there. Grab the Gluttonous Greaves and get back to lane. So now their wave is now pushing in, which is of course great for me, so long as they don't back, because this is going to basically force them to be in a poor position where I can run them down. Senna has already used her CC and procced her Glacial, so this is actually a really good opportunity for me to go in. Just that I'm kind of clearing out the wave a little bit first, because if I don't, the minion wave is going to focus me and is going to do way too much damage. Now here, Varus flashes away. Senna had, of course, already flashed just now, so I'm again going to run down the Senna. Now Kindred comes in for a gank, kills the Nami. I hit level 5. I actually ult the wrong direction, because I was trying to think that maybe I can focus the Kindred and use my ult to kind of help in killing her. But in hindsight, I probably should have just tried to ult the Varus, who was stupidly walking straight towards me when he saw Kindred come, where Varus probably should have just been walking away and leaving the Kindred to deal with me. So I made a mistake there. Should have just launched the ulti onto the Varus, but Varus dies anyway because he greets for tower plates and minion waves, and instead of backing off, so Olaf is there to handle him. So the wave is back in a pretty nice position for me. So I'm going to go over, place a ward down, so we this time will know if Kindred shows up. She is on the blue side though, so it's kind of unlikely. We're just going to push in the wave. Hopefully we can deny a minion or two from the Varus. We actually do, I think. Yeah, so here I was actually trying to hit the plant to deny the fruit, but I actually accidentally end up autoing one of them, which is honestly not that bad either. Pretty inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. Now, we know Kindred is still on the other side of the map, or we think Kindred is still on the other side of the map, because she's probably clearing blue side at the moment. She's actually ganking mid right now, so we're pretty safe to kind of just push up a little bit more and play a little bit more aggressive. You can see we land a auto onto Varus. We proc his bone plating, which will be useful if we decide to go in and fight. Now, Kindred's running in the wrong direction. Nami wave unfortunately does not hit because she walks the other way. But it does bait Varus and Senna to come in for a fight. They realize they're in trouble. Senna lives on 1 HP, Nami actually kills her. Now I'm on 1 HP, but I exhaust the Varus, and I'm basically nearly killing him through the exhaust. Now, if I caught my axe there, I actually would have killed him with that auto. Now Kennen comes in. Unfortunately, he is a little bit too far from me, but Nami is going to go down because she is way closer to him than I am. Olaf goes down as well, and yeah. I don't think this is a very good fight for our team. We traded, I think, 2 for 1 overall. But in the meanwhile, while Kennen was rotating, Yasuo pretty much took the entire tower, all of the plates of the tower at least. And I think he's actually going for the tower. I'm not too sure. Kindred is coming to stop him though, and he actually gets the entire tower. So you can see that in terms of gold, Yasuo just got the entire tower. He just died here, but he's at 5.6k gold, which is like more than 1k gold higher than me and like anybody else in the game. Just because he got all of the tower plates solo, which is completely insane. So he is really fed. I think overall that was a pretty correct decision from him, because even though he didn't join us for the fight, he did get himself super duper fed, and that's not very surprising at all. So here I'm rotating for the dragon. Olaf does die though, and here our goal is not to do the dragon, it's just trying to kill the people who are trying to do the dragon. So we kill the Kindred, we're trying to kill the cannon, but we get disrupted by the set, unfortunately. I think that the enemy team is probably going to finish off the dragon here. Varus dies to the fed Yasuo, the enemy team does get the dragon, cannon goes in for the ulti, kills the Yasuo, and here I'm just trying to lifesteal a little bit, and since the fight is basically over, I actually go for another minion wave, but Nami gets caught with her pants down while backing in that bush, which clearly must have been warded, and ends up dying as well. So here, not too much for me to do now. I'm just going to head back over to my top lane and just clear out this minion wave. I am running a little bit low on mana though, so I do want to get a little bit more gold for my my Dustblade, and then back to get not only the Dustblade but also to restore my mana. So here, I don't really want to fight them whatsoever. I just want to clear this wave and back to get mana. Now here, I don't have enough gold, so I'm trying to clear another wave to get enough gold for it, but this is risky because I am alone in lane, and they can try to hard engage on me with the Varus ult if they want to. Now here Kindred marks me, which I was like, am I gonna get ganked? But Kindred's in the Herald pit. So anyways, here I get the Dustblade, and actually it looks like I did have enough for the Dustblade. I had enough for a Dustblade and a Vamp Scepter and a Longsword, so my mistake there. Here I spot a fight, so I'm just gonna throw my ult in that general direction. I actually hit the cannon and get a shutdown on him, so this is one of the common things I like to do when I'm playing like Draven, Jinx, Ezreal, these kind of champions. I just launch my ult in that general river area when there's a like fight happening over an objective at the other side of the map from where I'm at. More often than not, you're gonna hit at least somebody, and you're not always gonna be lucky enough to get a kill like this, but if you do, like what I just did here, you know, amazing. You know, I get another cash in pretty much for free, because no one was going to get that kill on cannon anyways, because he was already running for the hills. And yeah, pretty nice. So now Varus and Senna have both backed here. Pretty good reset timing on their part. I'm going to try to shove in this wave as quickly as I can, and maybe get a little bit of tower damage, or at least try to deny some minions. Looks like I'm going to back. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I have enough for Bloodthirster. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So we have enough for Bloodthirster. And of course, that's another pretty major power spike. Always hitting the vision plant on the way out to ensure that there is no enemy vision in your jungle. So here we have 3 people mid and 2 people on the skull. So here, I'm not sure if the skull people are going to come back up top or they're going to rotate mid. I don't see a reason why they need 5 people to go mid, but here looks like Varus is coming back up. Does go the safe route though. And yeah, here we clear the wave. So here Kindred tries to come in for a gank. But you can see we're doing insane damage to her. However, we have to run because she's going to pop the ult. I try to snipe her with my ulti, but I barely miss. And Cannon now coming in with the ult again. Flashes in, again goes for the Nami. This time Nami does survive though, because Cannon doesn't do enough damage. I do get ignited by the Cannon instead of the Nami for some reason. But, you know, it is fine. I'm just going to attack the minions here. I actually need to lifesteal off of these minions, but the Olaf is pretty annoyingly taking the minions, so I can't lifesteal off of them. Here I get one nice auto onto the cannon. He's really low. I try to get the auto onto him to finish the kill, which I do. However, I do die before that. So my stacks did get halved before I cashed them in, which is not very good. Yasuo, Yasuo just tries his best to... I'm not quite sure what he's doing, to be honest, because that tower is not defendable. He actually nearly dies here because of trying to defend that tower. Thankfully, he did have his passive shield come up. And that was able to save him from the Senna ult, which was very well placed. So now I'm coming back up. I do have an additional Dirk in my inventory, which when you take into account that Collector is 10 lethality and the Dirk is 8, that's the majority of Collector's lethality right there already. So I'm looking to do some damage to somebody. Yeah, so Yasuo and me fighting over this wave. Yeah. So it looks like he's going to farm the chickens. I was thinking of going to rotate back up there to try to push the tower or to get the wave, but I kind of want to be in a central position because at this point in time, I'm the most fit member on my team, and I'm the main carry at the moment. I'm now 1k. I'm 1k gold ahead of Yasuo and Kindred, who's the most fit member on their team. Kennen is getting caught. I'm getting down the autos. I honestly thought this would kill him, but somehow he survives on 1 HP, and the fight is gonna continue. So Senna is pretty low. Kindred is coming in from the other side. Yasuo does not hit the tornado, and yeah. So now nothing too much is happening here. Dragon is up. I was thinking of rotating to top again to clear the wave, but Set is standing guard there, so I can't just walk straight there. I'm going to walk back into my jungle to the relative safety of the jungle. Nasus is busy split pushing while this dragon fight is happening. Now here is kind of a major issue because Set is pretty much zoning us away from the fight. I can just walk past him, so the dragon gets taken by Kindred. Here Set finally basically lets us through, so now I'm gonna come through. I'm gonna try to hit somebody who's not him. There we go. We get the Varus caught, or Nami gets the Varus caught. Now I get ulted by Set. I'm in a little bit of a pickle here. Now I'm trying to focus the Senna. Set is now on top of me again. I have to exhaust him, and I'm gonna have to kite him out a little bit. So here I'm just finally running him down now that he doesn't have spells anymore. And Senna also gonna get run down here. One of the main weaknesses of Set is his W and E cooldown are very long. So when he uses it, he's gonna basically be a sitting duck for quite some time, which is why he doesn't really like those very long fights. He just likes a fight where he can get off his a good E, a good W, and a good ult, and that's pretty much it. He doesn't like these kind of long drawn out fights like what ADC's like, where I can DPS him down over the long run. But yeah, so we do get 2 kills there. Nasus in the meanwhile gets an inhibitor tower, so I guess you could say in the grand scheme of things, I think that there was definitely a net win for my team. We did give them the dragon, we did cop a number of deaths, but overall we kind of killed them in return, and we also got the inhib, so I would say that's a definite win. So here we're headed back to the mid lane. Collector completed. Trying to quickly clear out the minion wave. Again, Yasuo tries to come to take the minion wave as well. I think I got majority of it, except maybe 1 minion. Now, looks like a fight's about to happen down in the bot lane. Kennen is kind of running away. Now Yasuo is kind of getting caught here over the skull, which is kind of not worth. He gets completely chunked out, so if a fight happens, Yasuo is not going to be able to really participate that well. He does take the fruit though, so that is working out. Now, in the meanwhile, Nasus is now split pushing the other lane, while we're keeping everyone busy in the mid lane, except for Set, who of course goes to stop him, which he does realize and does back off. Nasus pretty good split pusher. As in not Nasus the champion, but this Nasus player is a pretty good split pusher, because he knows when to push and when to stop, which is definitely a very useful skill for any top laner to have, just that you don't see it very commonly on the Rift. So here Olaf goes in onto the Kennen. I try to ult him down, but I end up hitting the Set instead. Now here the Kindred gets caught. We managed to pretty much kill her off before she has a chance to ult. We also managed to get enough movement speed from the Nami passive together with my own W to actually get out of range of the Varus ulti. Senna gets caught here. I'm running her down, picking up a double I believe, and here we get another kill onto the Kennen. And now I'm trying to focus down the Varus, who is under the tower but very squishy. Now Set is the last guy remaining on the enemy team, and I was trying to cut him off because I thought he was going to run back to his base, but he actually runs to the river for the fruit. Takes a little bit of time, but eventually we're going to get there, collect him as well, and pretty much kill all of them. In the meanwhile, Nasus once again is on the split push, getting another side lane inhibitor. And this basically means that even though Kindred has now respawned and the rest of our team is about to respawn, we can do Baron, because they're going to be busy dealing with the 2 huge waves on the side lanes, and they can't really come to contest. They could, but then they actually honestly risk losing the game to minions. Because look at that fat wave, you know, in bot lane. Like that is, there's like at least 2 super minions in that wave, and that will literally end the game if they come to contest Baron. So here we get the Baron. Or I should say we get the T-Hex. Now, Olaf and Nasus are fighting over who goes into the T-Hex. Now, honestly, once again, I think T-Hex is pretty useless, but definitely it should be the Olaf. Olaf is 1 and 6, and whereas Nasus is 2 and 1, and Nasus is really fair. Look at Nasus' goal. He has the same goal as like Yasuo and Kindred. So Nasus is kind of trolling here by going into the T-Hex because we need his tankiness. And yeah, look at that 1 auto on the cannon, nearly half his HP with close to full build here. Varus getting caught. I get 1 auto on him, and he manages to escape afterwards. And yeah, so here we're just looking for an opportunity to really hit anybody, somebody, or you know, the tower, something like that. We ended up taking a tower shot for our efforts because the minions die. And again, the 2 huge side waves are a big problem for the enemy team. We're just running straight down mid to push down the last inhibitor tower, but the enemy team has to deal with not only the mid waves but the side waves as well. Here Varus ult hits me, I'm gonna have to QSS it because I don't want to get caught. 1 auto kills the cannon from more than half HP. Now I'm trying to go ham onto the set and the Varus. However, here unfortunately I make a crucial mistake, which is I did not account for the exhaust. And I think if I didn't get exhausted there, I literally think I kill them all because of how much damage I have there and the resets on the Duskblade. But I suddenly noticed, like, wait a minute, I'm not doing so much damage, and then I realized I'm exhausted, and by that time I realized that I'm out of position and I'm dead. But yeah. So anyways, my team is gonna finish off the inhibitor that inhibitor that respawned, and Nasus and Nami are the only 2 left up and alive. Now the final non-Elder Dragon, it has actually spawned, and we do want to get it to deny the enemy team's Infernal Soul. However, we don't quite have a jungler up at the moment. Their jungler is also not up, so that is also a thing. So now everyone on my team is respawning except the Yasuo, so we're running straight towards the dragon to, of course, not only deny the soul, but also to deny the mark. Enemy team is coming to kind of contest. We're doing it very slow because I'm not there. The moment I reach, I'm going to start DPSing the dragon like insane. And now here, I'm just going to go ahead and try to go for the enemy team members instead of going for the dragon. Here we get a kill onto the set, get a kill onto the cannon, but we take a bunch of damage grabbing that fruit there. And now with the Splitting Axe, I'm going to go for a very aggressive play where I flash the wall. I'm going for Varus. I'm pretty much lifestealing off of him. However, Kindred shows up and pretty much just kills me. Now, if it was Varus and Senna, I think I would have been fine. But of course, Kindred was coming out of base off of the revive, so that was a mistake for me. Nice wind wall by the Yasuo to block the Kindred spells. Now Yasuo goes in, ults the Kindred. Another wind wall comes up. What's the wind wall cooldown, by the way? Another wind wall comes up. He blocks Kindred's autos again and finishes her off. And now with that, Yasuo's going to be able to end the game. No one is alive on the enemy team. He even gets a couple of minions just to boost his CS as he's ending the game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can see how dominant Draven can be with this new Duskblade Lethality kind of focused build. I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.